The Erasure of Evil. Today in class we were trying to discuss how the different story elements of The Hobbit impacted the story. We focused on Chapter 6, and the purpose was to demonstrate how the setting impacted the story. We first had to identify the story elements in Chapter 6, so we spent a lot of time describing the setting and the characters. Something interesting happened when we got to the wolves, which are in league with the goblins to raid the surrounding countryside. I asked the class to describe the wolves. I told them that they raid, they kill, they steal, and they make slaves of the people they don't kill. The room became silent, and this was the case for all three of my class periods. They had a hard time coming up with the word evil, or even coming up with the word bad. The same thing happened when we came to the eagles, who are described as noble-hearted. I asked the class what it meant to be noble-hearted, and there was again silence. We did a quick word study on the word noble, and I asked what it meant to have high moral character. And then I asked them what it meant to be moral. There was no answer. They did not have the language for it. This is not entirely unsurprising when you think of the world that we live in. We have reduced all morality down to a subjective feeling. What is right and wrong is just as important, or rather not as important, as someone's favorite color, and many believe that it has just as much impact on a person's life. I brought my students back to the last novel we read, and tried to remind them of Fahrenheit 451, and showed the parallels between not having the language for what people now think is an uncomfortable conversation. Right and wrong has become an uncomfortable conversation. It is not something we talk about, because we might offend someone. We might get their feelings hurt. Someone might feel bad. Instead, we have erased the language for these things. And we still have evil, but we have lost the language to talk about evil. It is just a difference of opinion, people say. A child can now read a book where a character lies, steals, destroys, kills, and enslaves, and thinks no more of these things than anything else. The psalm comes to mind. He hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see. And this is a tragedy. The child now only sees right and wrong as what you can get away with, and we can now be sure that we are not erasing evil, but rather erasing good.